I'm going to call the Building and Ground Committee to order. Roll call, Judd Lofshe.
Juan Cifuentes.
Brian Moreno.
Andy Allen.
Bob Elverson.
Cool. Do we have any public comments?
No
No.
public comments.
Cool. All right. Informational items. 3A, 2026 door replacement bid results.
Thank you. So we, as previous years, have gone out to bid for door replacements. This year we went out for O'Donnell, Bardwell, and then some interior doors at the high school and the band and chorus ring or chorus area. When we got the bids back, we were not necessarily happy with the pricing. So after talking to AJ and his team and B&G, we decided to hold off on the Bardwell and the O'Donnell doors this year and go forward with the interior doors at the East High. So that's what the memo reflects and the pricing reflects. We'll look at this again next year. They are not in dire shape. They just had few more work orders on those. So we'll relook at them next year. They're trying to get some information from the bidders to find out why the price increase was such. And I think one instance it doubled almost, I believe.
Wow.
So we want a little more information before we move forward with something like that. And we want to keep in line with what we're doing every year in a replacement cycle to make sure we don't try to exceed that amount and stay fiscally responsible.
Question: Are the East Aurora doors more damaged than the rest of them?
The interior doors they're soundproof doors.
Okay.
So they're really thick and really heavy, and we're having a lot of issues with the threshold. The thresholds and the supports on them are starting to fail. So we're having a lot of work orders. They don't always shut right.
Mhm.
So we want to get those taken care of before they become to where we have to do a complete replacement. It's almost like we're doing a refurbishment of the doors and the structure hardware there.
Okay, cool. 3B, train turnkey HVAC project.
Thank you. So this is in previous last couple of years when we did all the air conditioning units on all the buildings, there were some that were still feasible at each building that we left in place. This is technically finishing that out with the exception of nothing's been done at Hill Avenue. And Fred Rogers still has an older unit there, Aon unit, I think it's called. Might be speaking off there, but it's something like that. So this turnkey replacement replace all the other building ones to get them up to the same or similar train stuff that we already put everywhere else.
Mhm.
And it's called a turnkey. So basically it's a direct swap. We don't need the engineering and stuff involved with it. They basically lift the old one off and the new one fits basically directly in its place for the most part. Sometimes there's a little bit of sheet metal work, but it's all inclusive done by train. So
Sounds good.
we did a similar project last year.
Okay. 3C, train East Aurora High School chiller rebuild.
Yes, this is an optional thing, part of phase 2. So when you've previously approved phase 2 just recently for the mechanical, and that's in every classroom. The 2 chillers are still going to be reused. They have about a 20-year lifespan to 25-year lifespan on them. I think they're sitting at about year 12 right now. So what you're seeing is a proposal to rebuild them. It rebuilds the compressors, the motors, and all the major structural parts of them, looks at the electronics and all that, rebuilds them. Train still produces these units today and sells them today. So we're looking at refurbishing them, which will give us a 5-year warranty, which will push us out to about year 17 with those units. And maybe even beyond, we can do up to 2 refurbishments with those units, depending on the age and the condition when we do them. So we're trying to get the maximum lifespan out of them while still putting some warranty and stuff in place. And since we're doing such a large mechanical improvement at the high school in that area, it seems fitting that it fits well with that.
All right. Next, train PM chiller maintenance contract.
So we had previously had a maintenance contract with FE Moran to do all our rooftop units, clean the coils, things like that on a lot of the other equipment, change filters. We pulled that back. We're going to work to hire another couple of maintenance mechanics along with the maintenance mechanic team to set up a schedule to go forward to do the service ourselves, work, learn what we don't know, train those people up, make sure we have everything in place to maintain our own units. The chillers is something we haven't had serviced the same way. FE Moran wasn't looking at those. So we're going to go forward with the chiller service contract just for our chillers that we haven't been done. Now the chiller has a little bit more impact on some of the buildings. If you lose the chillers, for example, this building, you lose the AC at the entire building. There's no more. They run everything. Some of the buildings are a combination, like the high school has a little of both. Most of it's done by a chiller, but I'm saying Allen's a little bit different. Every building might have one and then some rooftop units. So they vary. Here and some other buildings, if you lose it, you lose pretty much all that capability. It is probably the most expensive part besides the installation labor that we have at each building. So we want to maintain it. I want our own guys to watch while they do this maintenance and learn from this because they already know a lot, but it's a way for us to build to maybe then pull this back in house 3 years from now and do it ourselves.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, roof replacement bid results.
So as far, we just got those back in. The roof replacements this year is at the high school. The main part is the auditorium roof, the flat spot, the highest part of the building. There's another area that we're doing just below that, and then we're pushing off an area that could have been redone. It has still good structural life to it. All the insulation, for the most part, we had it scanned. It turned out very well. But the cost, some of the cost has gone up. So to take some of the cost out of it, we're removing that section. We're going to look at possibly doing a sealer over some of it and repairing just a small part of it. And the rest we're going to get redone as part of the schedule. That's another one where we're pulling back some of it just to stay on track financially with getting the most important parts done. Because getting up to the top of the atrium, if we have some issues up there, that's a hard play. We can get to it, but that's a lot of ceiling, area coming down into the room. So we want to make sure we stay on track and keeping that. And that area is part of phase 3 next year of the air conditioning HVAC project. So
Which one are you recommending? I can barely read this chart here. Sorry.
let me look at my stuff. It should be,
JL Adler is the cheapest, 368. Okay,
yes.
and they're
They
responsive.
were doing base bid 1 and base bid 2. We're not doing base bid 3.
And have we used them before?
We have had Adler in the district before.
Oh,
we
they're
have.
good, no problems?
No.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for going out to bid and getting 5 bids. That's great.
Yeah, that was a very responsive one. So we're pretty happy about that one.
Yeah.
We have others where you get 2, you're like, oh, okay. But
Yeah. All right, tuck pointing 2026 bid results.
so the 2 we're looking at mostly right away, that's not much discussion, is furnace chimney. We knew was becoming an issue last year. With the HVAC project we did there, we no longer need the full height of the chimney. So we want to take it down to roof level because it is still structurally part of the building. So we can take it down the roof level, cap it, put aluminum on it, make it safe and a little lower. At Bardwell, we have the small chimney where all the boilers vents come out. It's degrading rapidly on the top of it. It's small, and we're going to do the same. It doesn't need to be taken down. Just needs to be the top 5 foot, 8 foot needs to be completely kind of redone, retuck pointed, recapped to make it structurally sound. It's easy to get to. Part of the long range plan is with all the old smokestacks that are on the buildings to slowly every year take on one and come bring it down to the building level and cap it off because we don't need them the same way anymore. Addition to that, Brady's had some water infiltration issues on the facade.
Mhm.
What you also see there is that there's also a little grid and a little map about that replacement. When we went out to bid, they came back kind of high doing the entire building. So Corder & Clark, working with the bidder, did like a value added piece where we looked at the most extreme areas to do. And that's what we're going forward with at Brady. The ones that showed the most wear, the other parts showed good life for another 7 years without having to deal with it. So we're going to push forward and do those areas. And that's what the reflection shows here on the memo.
So this is a summer.
They're all summer.
All
We
summer.
just getting the summer programs loaded up,
Okay.
basically.
This is in our capital budget for next year.
Yes, this is
Yes.
part of that whole budget plan. This is part of the 5-year plan to keep doing these tuck pointing, roofing, and all those projects.
Okay. All right, great. So we're not looking for action tonight, or are we? And I don't.
No, all these will take the
2
standard
weeks.
course. They'll come next meeting.
That's what I thought. Okay. Next, district safety and security updates.
Well, I don't know where Mr. Winsek is, but
Okay.
I guess I'll start this. He was supposed to be here, but I don't want to delay. So Jeff has been great. He's been an added, a very big asset to us in the district since he's come in. Very big change. I mean, part of the piece is that he has personally met with like every principal and the administrators throughout the district, listening to them, hearing them, finding out where their pain points could be. How could we do things better? And then working through that and trying to make recommendations for it. Part of that is he called his vulnerability study. As we know, ICE has been prevalent in the community. He's been out there trying to support the schools, investigating whether they are true ICE incidents or trying to calm the community and the school saying, hey, yes, they were here. They're no longer here. Please relax. I mean, it's important to the community. But so that's one thing he's been involved in. Students under the influence is something that came out of the high school safety and security committee, that they wanted to revisit the procedures and what they should do if they feel a student might be under the influence. So we've revised our protocols with the help of Mr. Simpson to go through that process and then educated with the nurses and everything and the building administrators what to do. And then Jeff has been part of that process the whole time, armed them with the right information of what to do. We had some people going around in different school districts trespassing, basically trying to come into the district thinking they had the right to walk any hallway they wanted to and film and try to agitate people. So he worked information out of the King County Safety Security committee he's part of, and the whole group. They came up with the no trespassing signs and this information to be able to post so people understand you don't have the free right to walk around the school like you think to. It's not a public place.
Yeah.
Like you want.
Okay.
Going forward. So this is something that Jeff is working on right now.
Andy, he's here, so if you
Yep.
want to turn it over to him.
Sure. You can have it, sir. Introducing
The mic.
interesting Jeff Winsett. Take it away, sir.
Hi there. Hey. Okay, so thanks for running over there. I was dealing with a couple of other little things. But one of the other things that we're talking about, I know Andy probably talked about all of the ice goodies that have happened before in the past. Hopefully, and the vast majority of that is behind us right now. One of the other things that we're looking at is doing food delivery practices a little bit differently. The way things were done previously was that you just call out an order and it comes to the school and then buzz people in, then you bring them into the school. We were talking about that and we all agreed that in this day and age, it wouldn't be a good idea to give people a ticket into our school with a Happy Meal. So now we're looking at putting out coolers outside of schools so that people can go and put things on the outside. It's nice enough to where things aren't going to fester in the heat. That's for sure. So you can put things into coolers. People can come outside and grab their own food, and it will also encourage healthy options. The next one is the updating of the emergency flip charts. I think the last time that this was updated was about 7 years ago. So we're doing one more remake on it. It was kind of a lengthy process in getting it redone. Props go to our web designer, Carlos, who was extremely helpful. It wasn't his job to come help us, but again, he did so without even thinking about it. Helps out. He developed a new emblem for the top of it so we can differentiate the new flip charts from the old flip charts. Good question. So those are for emergency situations. So like active assailant situations, key contacts throughout the district, bomb threat protocol, fire emergencies, medical emergencies, things like that.
So every teacher has one, or every administrator?
Every classroom will
Okay.
have one, not just classrooms, but also all major rooms in the school. So that in case something happens, all you do is you don't have to figure it out. You just go flip it over, and then all the key information is right there for you, and you carry it with you. In one sense, when you walk outside, you can, if you're missing kids in your class, you can put up that sign, the red sign on there that says need help. On the other sign, you can hold up green, and that shows that everyone is accounted for in your group.
Cool.
Also discussing doing safer search locations. The high schools have approximately 30. They have approximately 30 students, more or less, who have to be searched every single day based upon past history, arrests, and things like that. So it was decided that it was kind of counterintuitive to do these searches inside the school. So we were talking about temporary solutions and permanent solutions. Props goes to Assistant Principal Adela Santos, who brought up the idea of actually moving it over to where there currently is a safety vestibule, which is right on Smith Street and room door 45. So the protocol has been changed over there. They do all the searches over there now until we move a little bit further and develop a different safety vestibule in the front, which is probably the next slide. Oh, speak of the devil, there it is. This was a dream of Miss Mitchell's for a little while. She wanted to have something at the front area. You already have that slide down window in the front that could be utilized to hand things in and out. Have a safety window put in there, but also be able to further vet our people before they come into the school.
And this is something we're actively working on with Corder and Clark to see what designs and what we can do. We don't want to do the entire vestibule area of the high school. We just want to access one set of doors to be able to work with.
How many kids go through metal detectors every day?
What's
Or
that?
do any of the kids go through metal detectors at the high school?
They do random, they
Random?
do random searches on certain days. It's not practical to have every single kid go through there.
That's
It's hard enough getting the opportunity to have kids start
Okay.
school on time.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
There-
Approximately 30, give or take.
Okay.
And that's all East High who deals with all that.
And that's to door 45 right there?
And well, it's not just East High, but it's also the East Extension campus as well
Okay.
too, who deal with that too.
Our, what do you call it? Our officer does it or we do that? Who-
The actual, the PPAs do that
Okay. Oh,
with a wand, metal detector wand.
okay.
And one of the things that we're looking for is providing more secured access. One of the things that was brought up with our ECC staff, admin, they brought up a really good point when we were going around doing all the meetings with all the people. They had a very good idea about putting in one more layer of protection.
Okay.
We have the ability to vet people at the front door, but then when people come into the office, depending upon how that office visit goes, you may want to keep them in the office and not give them access. So we're in the process of putting in access control on that door too, just to keep them in the office area, to keep them away from our children until they're fully vetted.
Cool.
And door repair at Bardwell. It sounds simplistic, but when you're dealing with a 96-year-old school, there was past issues with some of the doors that wouldn't even close for the classroom. So then our esteemed building and ground team went out there. They put in a lot of tickets on it. They went
Yeah.
out there, shaved on the doors, rehung the doors just to get those doors to close. That's a problem because dealing with the heating system and then the cooling throughout the year, doors begin to warp after a while.
Yeah.
And that's no small business. But also that's what I was just dealing with on the phone just as I was talking. Talking with Bardwell, they have an issue with people who are parking in his parking lot. There are local neighbors using it, unknown other people who are using it. So we're in the process of getting signs installed over there for district use only. And then also we have also teamed up with a pro company as well too. Obviously we'd make that a last chance option for us to tow a vehicle out of there, but at least the people would see that there would be signs at all entrances over there.
It's ours?
Stars, yeah.
Okay.
And the entry security cameras at Allen School, Allen pointed out that they had some frustration with the current way they were reviewing and vetting their people. So then our wonderful IT guy Darian went over there, worked with them, put in a whole new camera system for them as well too, so they could further see who was outside the door, who was around the corner of the door, and who would be coming in the door of the school. And then not only is it viewed on just the box TV, but it's now viewed on people's individual monitors at their desks as well too, throughout the office. Same thing as what was done at Hermes. Hermes, they were making do with what they had. They had some blanched out cameras that were over there. So then they had mentioned that. They kind of showed us how that went during our talk over there. Realized I couldn't recognize my own sister if she showed up at the door. So they put in this thing, and they're very grateful to have that. We're working forward and doing a behavioral threat assessment program. We're doing some changes to it. We're going to CSTAG, which is one of the most common ways to do threat assessment that helps us and manage issues that come along, and it helps give us guidance, and it helps support our students and support our district in taking next steps to keep people safe, both students and staff. And this was another investment by District 131. This is the CRG school maps, the critical response group maps. So Before we had some maps that we had of the schools that were used previously. The paper maps, sometimes they were acquired from architects. Sometimes we made them ourselves too. So what we do is we had this CRG group come in, and then they mapped out every school and every building that we have. So that now on the next one, not only do you have a satellite shot of the district itself, but you also have a breakdown of all the classrooms, all the areas of the school. And then this was also shared with APD, MPD, MFD, AFD, and we made sure that they all had full access to this too, so that in case, God forbid, they ever needed them, they could go in. Now what they had is with their critical, their kick unit, their intel team, they can go in, and then they can plot out where their officers are. They can track them by their radios. They can track them by their phones throughout the school. You can see where people are. You can cross out classrooms that have been cleared. You can see where there's roof access, where there's basement access throughout the place. Extremely, extremely helpful. I know during the Pratt incident that we had in the past, it took us 2 days to get a map of the building, and that was unacceptable. That was something that we wanted to get away from. So now everyone's going to have full access to this. They have access to it now before an incident even occurs.
Mr. Winsett, can I interject real quick, please?
Yes, sir.
This will also help us with the partnership we talked about with the Aurora Police Department, with providing them access to our cameras at the high school, so they can actually see in real time and use these maps at the same time. So that's part of that reason we advocated for this when we were going through there, and that Jeff helped provide some of that guidance. Yeah. Yep.
I love that. So is it only the high school? Can they have access to all of it?
We don't have too many interior cameras in the hallways and other buildings. It's mainly the high school, but they would have access to those, and then they'd have access to the exterior cameras. Any cameras we have, they'd have access to our systems there.
Yeah, exactly. They would have access to those. Plus also now with this system and with their current intel platform that they have, as the officers making their way through the school, the command post can activate the officer's body camera, and then so you can see almost like SEAL Team 6
Cool.
as they're making their way through the school. Pretty fascinating.
And this gives first responders a way to find out if there's an emergency power shut off or in cut power, sprinkler systems if they've got to cut them off, roof access if they need to get up on top of the roof. All that is mapped out on each one. The locks, we have key box on the outside of the building, shows what door they can go open their key box and get into the building at that point. So it has all that stuff marked out there for them.
But I'm just surprised we don't have cameras in a lot of our schools. Is that not?
Middle school
is
and
it
high
easy?
middle schools and high schools and extension campus all have cameras interior in the building. Elementaries do not.
Okay.
And then we are talking about doing some cameras in some of them just to help with the vetting process
Mhm.
as that goes along. That's a case by case basis also.
I know how you said how you're working with APD and all the staff from like the fire department and the ambulances, but like, do they get to do like a test run? Or is it just like, do they get to do a walkthrough maybe in the summer since you're working with them, just so they can have an idea? Or you get me? Because just so they could see how it is, I don't know how many times they walk through East Aurora or like other schools, because I know we have a lot of schools in the district, right? But
Yeah.
just so they could get an idea too, I don't know if that could be an option, or because I know it's good to have a plan, but
And
it's
that's a
also good
possibility
to
too.
actually see it
I know in
beforehand.
the past, I know in the past, we've worked with law enforcement on having them come out and then do some simulated drills. I've spoken to the day watch commander about that already, and then so he's kind of vetting that out too. And then now that you have a rescue task force that's actually involving the police and the fire department too. So that would be a good opportunity to bring the fire department in as well too, to do some of those things.
It's additional to partnerships that we're looking to do. Stuff like that, we'd have to look at the summer when the buildings really aren't occupied. We have to do a good job of informing the community around the school, let them know there's nothing serious going on. This is purely a training event. There's a lot involved in that, but yeah, that's something we are looking at. This is one of the first steps. Also, with the addition of Raptor, which we just went through, that's another piece of this whole process too. They kind of all go together as one big package.
And then there was a gentleman on the west side of Aurora who applied for a grant post Pratt to come up with to develop an emergency radio system that was used citywide. That person is now our superintendent here, and then those radios are being put into working order as we speak. We've already started tests with the West Side School District as well also. To be able to use these things so that And then one of the reasons that came by was that they started to realize that when an emergency happens on one side of town, it affects both sides, because there are kids who are being bused from one area to the other. So that one time, so that they decided to have a frequency that would create real-time information dispersion for both sides would be helpful. So the vast majority of our schools have these now. We're working on having those in all of our schools.
Cool.
And also with the good old walkie-talkies, we developed a new vendor to help us with some of these issues. We're coming up with a new program for both our secondary and our elementary schools, so that each radio isn't just programmed for one school. There's more interoperability, so that in case one person gets brought over to another school to help out, all you have to do is you just go and switch over to a channel. If you go anywhere within the elementary school system, which are all the analog, and then we would have separate ones for junior high and both high school, and those would be our digital ones. So that in case you had to go to one area of the school, one area of the city, you can just go and switch them over instead of having to go and exchange radios with everybody. And at the request of Simmons, they had an area in their school that was known for. I think they had some like three arsons over there previously in the bathrooms, and then people vaping and fighting and things like that. And that was a blind spot in the school. So just recently, our wonderful IT team, Darian Staples, went over there, listened to Mr. Los. Developed a program and what they needed, and then he created a fishbowl camera, so now you can see not only who's coming in and out of those bathrooms, you can see down the hallway, and you can see even behind in the blind spot that's by the social worker's office as well too. And then the East Aurora High School's truancy office. Speaking with staff over there, we decided that there could be a safer way of doing things. That glass window, that's also where we're talking about that previous door 45, where they're doing searches. You can see that door is propped right there. There's a little wedge put in that door, so you can go and make contact with some parents. But there were some parents who were coming to school who were under the influence or hostile in other ways, and then they would start to pull those doors open. So then the decision was made to put in a safety window. So during Christmas break, we've got more glass coming out there to put in a window similar to the one you can see there, that will have a document window, but also a speaking window, so that you can speak to people and you can vet people more effectively at school, keeping our kids safe and keeping our staff safer. And the risk of harm procedure. This is one thing we're always looking for ways to better the system. And risk of harm is generally broken down into suicidal, self-harm, or homicidal. We started to realize that with homicidal people, we probably do things a little bit differently. So we all collaborated together, developed a better process that kind of loops law enforcement and security in at an earlier stage for the safety of both the students and the staff as well too.
So do you have any questions for Mr. Winsack at all?
I don't have a question. I just want to make a comment. I'm truly appreciative of bringing Jeff on. When we had the opportunity to hire somebody, he had experience with boots on the ground. He had experience with leadership, and it came through very evidently that he was very transparent in his communications. So I'm just very thankful. You can see this is just a small amount of the work that he's been working on under Andy's leadership so far. So I just want to say kudos and please keep up the hard work. We truly appreciate you trying to make a difference for our students and their safety every day. So thank you.
I agree with that. And I think that, you don't always hear the best thing about, the news is focusing on the negative, but I think we should let the Beacon News and the Tribune know that we are really proactively trying to do stuff. I mean, maybe a press release or something, because this is good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, and
Thank you.
Andy. It's we're one of the oldest school districts here in the state, right? So it's good, Bartow's beautiful. It's 97 years old, just to have it updated, just to see like a beautiful building, then you walk inside, you see it updated. It's amazing. I know we were making fun of that Hermes building, right? I think it's really tough. It's your sister, it could be the neighbor, but I'm glad you guys are putting the effort, especially thinking about tomorrow instead of just thinking about today, right? Because anything can happen tomorrow. But today, you guys are building the future for all of us and for more generations to come, especially how we're almost into 2026. So we'll have to be updated. So thank you guys.
Agreed, and then I'm appreciative for the supporting staff that I have, supporting admin to help us realize that safety is the highest priority. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is a constant process. We'll always be doing more and more as we find the need. So
Good.
We're glad you got here to present, so we didn't have Andy present the whole time. So thank you for that as well.
That too.
I'm gonna go back to the Bardwell call about the parking.
All right.
So I think the last thing, we have a resolution for disposal sales, some hazardous chemicals, I think, on the list here too, coming out of the high school. And then the work order summary, as you can see, is also attached in the next slides coming up. We're holding pretty steady. We're having a pretty good closure rate. Working with the team to still consistently make sure we get the tickets in there. So then the maintenance team and the delivery team and the people in the boots on the ground of the building can close out their tickets and see what their work is. But we're doing a pretty good job. We're thankful to be almost fully staffed. We're really close. We still got the next two people we need to hire to keep going, but that'll be coming here soon, I think, through finance and personnel in January, that recommendation.
One last thing before we close too, I just want to thank all of the maintenance and custodial engineers. We had a heavy snow come on Saturday. It was the heaviest snow we've had in November. And they came out and spent a good 4 or 5 hours on Saturday to get stuff going. And then also did the cleaning and clearing on Sunday as well. So thank you guys for your hard work on that. I see a couple individuals in the audience. We are thankful that we could get into our building safely. So appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. So nothing else before the committee? Adjourn at 6:31 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you.